Hey everyone, I'm going to show you how you can make your own garden on your porch, your deck, any place that has sun. Especially if you're in an apartment or someplace that maybe your outside porch or even your sliding glass window or even a bay window, you can put a garden in. Okay, this is a bucket. Believe it or not, I found this on the side of the road. I cleaned it out, cleaned it all around. I put some holes on the side. So with just the larger drill bit, there's 4 of them all the way around. That is the level of water that I want to actually pour out. When it gets an inch off the bottom, I do not want it flooding and filling up the whole thing. So it's just like having a tray underneath that allows water out so it doesn't flood. You put rocks in my case I use oyster shells because I'm on the East Coast in Maryland and we get a lot of oysters. So they've been cleaned and they're actually good to use in a freshwater fish tank. I'm going to be using leftover soil from previous years of plants that we've had. This is an old poinsettia plant, and these are all hanging flowers from last year. And then that's the tomato plant that I got from the Navy Exchange actually for just under $10. Already has buds on it. So hey, just what's really nice about this is somebody like me that's mostly in a wheelchair can't get to a garden or work on the garden. I can actually put this on my deck in the backyard in the sun, and then I won't have any animals or critters eating the roots. I'll be able to weed real good, take care of it, and I can probably put a tomato cage on this too, because my tomato plants get very big, as you may have seen on my YouTube channel under Home and Garden. So first thing is put a layer of soil on top of that, and then build it up, and then we're going to transplant this guy into it after we wet it and put soil all around it. And don't forget to put Epsom salt and dry milk as fertilizer. It stops the tomatoes from cracking. It's not overwatering that does that, it's lack of calcium. All right, now as you empty your old plants into this, you want to pull out as much of the roots as possible. So it's just soil. You can see all the fertilizer that came with that's still in there. It's probably, I'm thinking it's really good soil. So I think a little bit more of this, and then I'll transplant that into this and put that soil. Well, I took the cage off of the plant, and something I do, since I'm not putting this actually in the ground, I'm just going to prune the bottom. I like to get the bottom leaves off because more of the food and everything goes to the top. So prune the bottom. It's a good habit anyway, because if you're out in the elements, then what happens is your bugs get on there, anything that's touching the ground. So any leaves, like these leaves are touching the ground, so I'm going to prune up here, and it doesn't hurt it at all. In fact, if you dig it, you bury it like I've done in my videos with the smaller plants, I take it all the way up to the top leaves and bury the whole thing underground. And what that does is builds up more roots. The bottom gets down to the water real good, and this is actually pretty good. I don't know if I want to take that one off, but that's really good. I like that. I might take this guy right here off. So let me break this guy off. All right, so that's good. I'll keep that on there. So probably, I don't know if I had any flowers on it, but I'm not worried about it. That's what I took off, and actually that can go right back in as compost for its own plant. So yeah, make sure you get it all up though. All right, next thing is get my hands a little bit more dirty and plant it on top and put some soil around it. I brought this over to the light. Maybe you can see I put it in there. You got to be, take it. It's a big plant, so you have to turn it completely upside down and then flop it inside. But you see all that empty area around there, and it's kind of going in on the bottom because that's the direction of the plant. So you want to lean it over, get the soil in, lean it over, stuff the soil in there, and that would do it. Bring it up probably about 1 inch or 2 above, okay, but not above the rim. Oh, there it is. A real cool project for youngsters of all ages. All right, even adults and all that. So I don't think I'm going to cut this off. I think what I'm going to do is put a cage in and have it just come over. I may cut it because there's really nothing growing out of it. What the growth is right here, that's the flower. We have flowers up here, and what happens is your energy that is consuming is all going into these, which really doesn't do anything. Okay, so it's up here that you want. So yes, tomato plants do need to be pruned. Okay, especially the buds that I've already done. I clip them off, and if they fall off for some reason, they shouldn't if you do everything right. All I have to do is put my fertilizer on there, and it's all done. Go put it out in the rain and let nature take its place. Okay, and what you see there is my Epsom salt and dry milk. The white powder is the salt, and the yellow is the dry milk. And that's what the dry milk looks like. Okay, and that's what the Epsom salt. Both of them, hey, great for gardens. There's proof right there. Okay, so there's and high in calcium, which gardens need too. So, hey, give it a try, because what it's going to do is stop your tomatoes from splitting. Well, there's the final resting place. Got the little sign right there that came with it. I did prune off the bottom leaves because anything under the bottom ring, and here's proof for you. I can't go any further. Okay, so it's not quite. Yeah, it's just not quite at the second ring. So when I bring you back, hopefully it'll be way up here someplace. Okay, so I might actually have to set some strings up on the gazebo. But we get virtually all full sun out here, and that's why we're getting solar panels pretty soon, because we get full sun back here. So subscribe so you see the outcome of this, okay? I'm going to show you tomatoes coming off of it, how big it gets, and see if that reused soil is good enough to use.